Hello, everybody. Welcome to our class, Introduction to Business Analytics using Excel and Power BI, Lesson 5. Today we'll be doing Introduction to Power BI. Objective of our class today, we're going to learn the basics of Power BI, get data from CSV files via Power Query, update our data model, we're going to build a dashboard, and we're going to publish that board online so we can share with our company. The data we'll be working with today comes from this Excel file, AdventureWorks data. If you look inside the file, you will see multiple Excel tables. We have sales data. Basically, this is the same bicycle company we dealt with a previous lesson. So we have sales data for our bicycles, we have territories, order data that groups sales data into orders. We have data about resellers. We have product data, the names of products, and we have a list of customers. When you open Power BI, you will see basically a question where we're going to get our data from. Import from data from Excel, from SQL Server, get a table, you sample data from another source. And if you click on another source, you can see how many different data sources we can have for Power BI. So we can get data from different type of files. We can get it from different databases, Snowflake, SQL Server, PostgreSQL, MySQL, Access Database. We can get it from Microsoft Fabric, which is special business analytic services by Microsoft. You can get it from Power Platform. If we design if we design the Power Apps, we can get it from Azure, online services, and different online services like Salesforce, and CData, and you can see Databricks. So there are lots of different ways we can get data into Power BI. But from Google Analytics, Salesforce Objects, Salesforce Report, and so on and so forth. So Power BI allows us to get data from multiple sources and merge it into reports. Today we will just get data from Excel file, but it's important to understand that Power BI would allow us to merge data from multiple sources to come up with our analysis, dashboards, and reports. So today we're going to get data from Excel. And Excel we're going to be working with is AdventureWorks data. So when you open it, you will see list of tables and list of tabs. Let's ignore tabs because we have each tab we have a table. So we're going to just select all the tables that this Excel file has and click transform and load data. Now we see a familiar screen, which is a Power Query, and we see multiple queries that Power BI imported. So we're going to go through each of these queries and make sure the data types are what we want, what we expect. So customer key will make sure it's an actual decimal number. Customer ID is a text. So we're just going to make sure that all the keys are numbers. Okay, so customer looks good. Let's look at data. Data key is a number. Then we have a date, which is a date. Fiscal year is a text. Quarter is a text. Full day is a text. Month key is a number. Looks good. Let's look at product. Product key is a number. SKU, product, standard cost. That's set as a decimal number. We're going to change it to currency. Number, replace current. All right. So let's change it to currency. Color, list price. Let's also change it to currency. Model is a text. Subcategory is text. That looks good. Reseller. So key is a number. Okay, so looks good. Sales. So sales key is a number. Reset key, product key is a number. So we're basically checking if Power BI figured out correct data types. Unit price. We can change that as currency. Extended amount. That can be currency. Unit price per percent. Unit discount percent. If it's percent, let's change it to percent. Cost. Cost will replace to currency. Total product cost will replace it to currency. Sales amount will replace to currency. Sales order, we have channel as a text. Line item key is a number. Order is text. Order line is text. That looks good. Territory, we have key as a number. Region is text. Is text. So now that we're done with the modification of the data types, we say close and apply. Now that our data is imported into Power BI, we see basically Power BI interface. As we work through the lesson, we're going to learn details of it, but I just want to give you like a short overview. So on top we have different menus, just like in Excel. And on the left you have different views. One view is report view. This we're going to build our visualizations. Another view is a table view where we can look at data. We don't see the whole data here unless amount of data is small. This is really some top number of rows, but definitely not necessarily the whole rows. But we can see how many rows in each table. For example, in sales, we have 121,251 row. But if we scroll down, we may not have all rows here. So this is a table view. Another view is a model view. The model is basically describing data relationships. We will be working, we will have the whole lesson that we're going to be working with modeling and DAX. So, but to make it to introduce you to the relationship right now, you can see that we have sales data, and sales data relates to sales order data, to reseller data, customer data, product, and sales territory. So, for example, if you click on this line, which is the relationship, it says that one sales territory has multiple sales records. It means that sales record has a sales territory key right here, right? So basically, sales record has sales territory key, and detail of the sales territory is found in the separate table called sales territory. So this type of schema is called the star schema. Basically, we have a center center table that has all the real information about sales. All other tables just have extension information. If we have a reseller key here in the sales, more detail about that particular reseller will be found in reseller table. If we have customer key here in sales, and more information about customer will be found on the customer table to prevent duplication. So again, we'll be working more to understand the different type of schemas we have. But at this point, what we're missing here is the relationship between date and sales. Usually, tables that have actual important information called facts, and all the other tables that just have additional information called dimensions. To kind of indicate which is which, we're gonna add the letter D for dimension and F for facts. So F will be added for sales, so I'll rename this table to F sales to kind of indicate that this is fact table sales, and all others I will rename into dimensions. Basically, I will add letter D ahead of the name of the table. So we have F sales, D sales order, D reseller, D customer, D product, D date, and D sales territory. So the only table right now that does not have relationship with sales is D date. There are multiple dates are in sales. So the first one is order date. You see order date key. So date basically has a list of all dates that are used in a system. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a relationship. We're going to take this date key and connect it to order date key. And it's asked us what kind of relationship it is. I say, okay, make a relationship from date key to order date key on D date to order date key in F sales. Cardinality 1 to many, and cross filter direction is single. We're going to learn more later about filter directions and what it means for DAX. But for now, we just click save. And what we see now is that we have a relationship from, if you select it, you will see that it's a relationship between date key and order date key in F sales. So it means that we can filter our data starting from D date table by date key and find all the data that for that particular date from F sales. So it's a relationship between two tables. And there are more dates in fcells. One is due date key, and another one is ship date key. So we will need to have relationship established as well. So we're going to take date key and connect to due date key and click save. So now we have second relationship going from date table to fcells. And then we have ship date key. We're going to establish relationship as well. So date key has 3 relationship to fcells. Let's switch to our report view. And what you will see on the right is a data menu where we can see all our data. And when you click on and expand each of the tables, you can see every column that we can do, that we can visualize. So, for example, if we have this sales territory and we click on group, and we can see, and then we can select what type of visualization we want to have. Power BI selected a table, so we can see list of regions in our territory. Same thing we can do with sales territory key, for example. But we don't need sales territory key to be shown on this screen. Why? Because the only thing that these keys are used for is just create relationship between the tables. We don't need to visualize. The keys do not have any important information beyond just relationships. So what we want to do, we want to hide the columns that we don't need from this tool. So let me unselect it and delete this visualization. We're going to go back to our model view, and we're going to go to reseller and find this reseller key. And you see this little eye. We're going to click on it and cross it and say, okay, do not show reseller key, show it as hidden. And you'll see on the right, you'll see that it's been hidden. We are hiding it from our report view. So if you go to reseller and you don't see reseller key anymore, it still exists, but it's not important for our visualization. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through all tables that have keys, and all of them have keys. We're just going to hide those keys from our visualization tool. So on the sales order, we're going to hide sales order key. On territory, we're going to hide sales territory key. On date, we're going to hide date key. On a product, we're going to hide product key. On a customer, we're going to hide customer key. Next step, we're going to add hierarchies to our model. Hierarchies basically allow us to do grouping much faster. So we're going to go into more details on hierarchy later in the class. But what we're going to do right now, we're going to go to customer and select region. Right click and say create hierarchy. So we're going to call this hierarchy geography. And so we're going to add state and province, city, postal code, and actual customer. So basically, we are saying that you can have a hierarchy, geography hierarchy of a customer. You can group them by region, by province, by city, postal code. After we added the hierarchy, you can see under the customer we have geography hierarchy. And it says you can group customer by region, state, province, city, postal code. Next, we're going to add another hierarchy on the date. So let's pick a column year, fiscal year. Right click and create hierarchy. So the hierarchy name, we're going to call it fiscal hierarchy. And the columns that we're going to pick, basically year, quarter, months, and date. So we have year, fiscal quarter, months, and date. So it kind of shows you the hierarchy of the date. On top we have year, the most highest level granularity, year, quarter, months, and date. And we click apply level changes. And under date you have fiscal hierarchy, and you can see fiscal year, quarter, months, and date under this hierarchy. Next, we're going to add hierarchy to the product, which is category, subcategory, model, and product. So we're going to right click on category, create hierarchy. And let's call this hierarchy products. And we're going to have category, subcategory, model, and a product. So the product has basically highest level is categories and subcategory of product, model of the product, and actual product. Next, we're going to add hierarchy to reseller. So we create new hierarchy. We're going to also call it geography. Okay, and the columns we're going to have country, region, state, province, city, postal code, and then in the bottom it will be reseller. Apply changes, and then under geography of reseller you can see hierarchy. So basically this is hierarchy of resellers by geography. Next hierarchy we're going to add is to sales order. So we're going to go to sales order, create hierarchy. I'm going to call it sales orders. And the portion of the hierarchy will be sales order and sales order line. Apply changes. And you'll see under sales order we have hierarchy of orders, which is order and line. And the last hierarchy we're going to add to the sales territory. So we're going to create new hierarchy. And the name of the hierarchy, we're going to call it sales territories. And it will have group, country, region, group, country, and the region. Apply changes. So now we're done with building all the hierarchies. Let's add our first element to the dashboard. We want to display total sales amount. So we're going to go to our sales, and you have the sales amount. We're going to drag it and drop it into a canvas. By default, Power BI picked up clustered column chart, but we're going to switch it to a card. The card will display us actual number. I'm going to make it smaller. Move it. And now we can go format this visual. I'll click on General, Formatting, Effects, Border, and turn the border on. And make it a little bit rounded. Let's say 6. It's formatted General. Effects border. Let's add another visual. Let's say 12. We're going to show. Okay, looks good. We're going to show the graph of sales amount by year and months. So let's go to sales and pick sum of sales amount. Drag it to canvas. Power BI picked up the cluster column chart. Let's switch it to area chart, and the parameter for X coordinate, we're going to pick fiscal year, and fiscal months. Make it a little bit larger. That gives us another visual. So what we can see now is as we go through each month, we can see that the values of our totals are changing related to the visuals that we pick, to the months that we pick. Or if we pick a year, we can show sales by year. We can add more information to this visual. Right now we only show sum of sales amount. We can also add sum of product cost to our y coordinate. Now we can see the amount of sales and cost. So we can pretty much see profitability. Like it was much lower profitability in 2018, and then profitability picked up. Now we're going to add a matrix visual, which is similar to pivot table, what we had in Excel. So we want to see the breakdown of product category and subcategory and amount of sales and cost. So we're going to go to product, and we'll go to our hierarchy and put category and then subcategory. And again, Power BI tries to figure out which visual do we want, which gave us a table. We're going to pick a matrix. So you can see now it's grouping category with subcategory. So now the values for the matrix, which is going to be our values, we're going to put sales amount. We're going to put into here, and it automatically put it under values. So what else we can do? We can make values larger, and we can go to format, cell elements, and add data bars to it. Then we can go to cell amount and sort by largest to smallest. So this will give us information which category and subcategories are good at sales, like amounts of sales per category, subcategory. But we can make this visual larger, and we're going to add another data to it. We're going to pick also cost, total cost, and drop it right here. So let's divide this roughly equally. And we can also enable data bars for the cost, and then sort by cell amounts, descending order. So now we can see the values by subcategory, how much each cost. So for example, we can see that total bikes, we have 94 million in sales with 84 million in cost. If we break down, we can see that the road bike is 43 million in sales and 39 million in cost. And the mountain bikes is 36 million in sales and 30 million in cost. And touring bikes is 14 million in sales and almost 14 million in cost. So we're losing money on touring bikes. In the next lesson, we're going to use DAX to add measures so we can see some ratios on the profitability. The last step we're going to do is we're going to add a slicer. So we're going to get a date and pick from hierarchy. We're going to pick a year and drop it right here. By default, Power BI picked up a table. We're going to change it to a slicer. Then we're going to go to design and slicer settings and pick which type of slicer we want. Let's say tile, and under selection, multi-select with control. So when we put control, we can select multiple years. So control, we can select 3 years or 2 years. So now we have fully functioning dashboard where we can see profitability. Actually, we can see the cost and sales amount per year.